That's... You're welcome. That's a Bon Voyage song, really. It's a death song. I wrote it for a friend of mine who was about to pass away, but I didn't realize it at the time. I last spoke to her in Chicago. She said, well, is there any way you can get in touch with me after you've gone? And we were on the phone. She was in Britain, and she said, I mean, I can turn into a hedgehog maybe, but I have yet to run across a hedgehog named Julia. Okay, apropos of which, another husband and wife couple here. This is a fun one. I believe they're here, but again, I don't know their names. I think one of them has requested this for the other, for their anniversary. See what you make of it when you hear it. I had an amazingly sort of morbid birthday request I did last night, but I think this even beats that one. Here we are, okay. My wife lies down on the stairs. She stares into air. I know she's there. I'm making coffee for two, just me and you. Coffee for two. But I come back in with coffee for three. Coffee for three. My dead wife sits in a chair, combing her hair. I know she's there. She wanders off to the bed, shaking her head. Robyn, she said, you know I don't take sugar. My wife and my dead wife, am I the only one that sees her? My wife and my dead wife, doesn't anybody see her at all? No, 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 no. My wife sits down on the stairs. She's peeling a pear. I know she's there, 'cause I'm drilling holes in the wall. Little holes in the wall. I turn round and my dead wife's upstairs. She's still wearing flares. She talks out loud, but no one hears. My wife and my dead wife, am I the only one that sees her? My wife and my dead wife, doesn't anybody see her at all? No, 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 no. I can't decide which one I love the most. The flesh and blood, or the pale smiling ghost. My wife lies down on a beach. We're sharing a peach. She's out of reach of the waves that crash on the sand, where my dead wife stands, holding my hand. Now my wife can't swim, but neither could she. And deep in the sea, she's waiting for me. She's waiting for me. Oh, I'm such a lucky guy, because I got you, baby, and I'll never be lonely. My wife and my dead wife, am I the only one that sees her? My wife and my dead wife, doesn't anybody see her at all?
I got some for you.
I'll give us a bit of chorus for this one, please. It's a tale of something that's really close to my heart, and oddly enough involves my father as well, to do with the worship of obsolete electric traction, which is one of the things that I was very into as a boy and I've returned to in later years. Hard to describe why this grabs me like it does, or grabbed me like it did. Maybe it grabs me like it does because it grabbed me like it did. About the same age as I got into the Beatles, I got into trams, trolley buses, what y'all call streetcars or trolleys or trackless trolleys. There are a lot of trams here in Chicago. You can see the ghost trams rattling around all the big streets. There's plenty of them. I won't give you too many facts, but this is concerning when I was 11, so I hadn't reached my full height or weight. More significantly, I couldn't play the guitar at that point. I had no concept I was going to become a musician. My father, who I only just met, he'd just come downstairs for the first time. Because they completely managed to soundproof the downstairs, but he was still not taking any chances, so they cut a hole in the ceiling and they lowered him down. And he couldn't bend his left leg because he was hitting the knee by shrapnel in the war, so he wasn't agile. He had been agile, he'd been a runner, much more athletic than I ever was, but now completely not so. So he had a life to brood over that. But he said, "Oh, hello, are you my son?" And I said, "I guess I looked around, I said, "I don't think I'm your daughter, so I must be your son." He nodded sagely and he said, "You know, in a few years I'm going to grow a moustache." And I said, "Wow." He said, "I think you will too." I said, "No way, Dad." He said, "Way." And he said, "Yeah." But he said, "And my boy, how can I please you?" And I said, "Oh, Father, beloved Father whom I've just met, can we go to yonder distant British town and look at these trolley buses?" And he said, "Yeah, whatever you want, mate." And we went there, but we finally found one. Basically, it's like a British double-decker bus, but it has little antennae that feed from overhead wiring. And you have to, to do that, you have to have the overhead wiring. Nowadays, they can actually cheat. The ones in Seattle feed off the overhead wiring, and then they can go off-grid, and they can make it all the way down to Portland, like electric cars. But in those days, a trolley bus, rather like a person trying to breathe on Mars, they could only survive a short time without feeding from the overhead wires. And I think that sense of helplessness and their pleading little round headlights and those lovely sexy six wheels, I don't know, it just did something to me. And my dad was very good about it, but we couldn't go upstairs because of his legs, so we had to sit downstairs. But not long afterwards, those buses every single one of them was pulped and demolished and smashed, and the world moved on, and you got gatefold sleeves and Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin, and rhythm guitar was gone, and it was all, screech, scrawdle, scrang, all that sort of masturbatory stuff, and everybody was so stoned they couldn't tell the bloody difference. So I thought, fuck this, I'm going to be a psychedelic renegade, and I did. That's the rest is history. Shortly before he passed away, my dad said, "I see you're doing very well in America." I said, "How do you know?" He said, "You told me." And he said, "Well, I did grow a moustache, and so did you, but you shaved yours off." And I said, "Yeah, it just wouldn't work now, would it? You can get away with it." But he did. So he's in this song. His name was Raymond, and this is about the wires, the overhead wires. So let's do Raymond and the Wires with some chorus, please, Dave. And then we're going to get towards the end of it's all the same set. I know what, I go and play the piano in a minute. That's instead of an interval. Sorry. Good move. Yeah, it knows there should be an interval. I'm sorry. Okay, here we are. My eyes have seen the trolley bus on her pneumatic tires, vamping down the high road, drinking from the wires. My eyes have seen the trolley bus, her rivets and her wheels, sinking electricity. I wonder how that feels. I wonder. My eyes have seen the trolley bus in 1964. I caught one with my father. We climbed through the back door. We couldn't sit upstairs because my father's leg was bad. He spoke to me behind the glass. He was a lonesome dad. My eyes have seen the trolley bus, the silent way she moves. You miss the love you never had, the needle skips the grooves. I never knew my father close, although I took him in. He travels round beside me now, he goes everywhere I've been. I wonder. I wonder. My eyes have seen the trolley bus.